I've been needing to find a new apartment, which has not been easy with credit as bad as mine. Luckily, I found cosigning.com. They connected me with a cosigner who helped me get my dream apartment for me and my dog. I just paid a small fee and was able to move in fast. Get the cosigner you need for the apartment you want. Check out cosigning.com today.
This is a great day. I just found out something that happened a little while ago. Donald Trump just single-handedly saved marriage for millions of men like myself in the United States. And he also single-handedly just helped increase the birth rate. My best guesstimate, 15%. The reason I say that is because not everybody's going to be smart enough to listen to the revelations today and make the appropriate decisions going forward. Contrary to popular belief of my ex-girlfriends, I'm not anti-marriage. I'm actually a conservative. I want to be married. I want to have kids. I haven't done it yet because this is not the proper climate or country to do it in. I say that because everything in this country is anti-family, anti-men, and very pro-gay. I don't want everything around my child trying to indoctrinate them to be gay, and the only thing teaching my kid to be like me is me. The society should also be reinforcing those beliefs, but that's antithetical now. Society isn't reinforcing homosexuality. I even see Snoop Dogg apologizing today because he didn't want to let his 4-year-old grandson be groomed by the LGBTQ propaganda in movies. So I guess when his son's 13, and they're trying to get his son to have sex with a trans kid, and Snoop says he's against it, I guess they're going to troll him on the internet or whatever they have in 10 years. And what Snoop's going to say, you know what, you can have my kid. I don't want to seem like I'm not an ally. I was just caught off guard. The point is, this country is not necessarily safe for those things, but it was also very dangerous to get married in this country. Donald Trump just single-handedly reversed that. Now men have marriage, but there's only one key. There's only one caveat to all of this. You have to find you a wife that's from another country, and you would bring her here. Everyone knows the way you're supposed to do it is you go to another country, you find a good woman, you get married, you have children, you never bring her to the United States. Because typically these women, if they're running a scam, they'll pretend to love you. They'll pretend to want to be a perfect wife for you. And they'll marry you, and you'd bring them here to the United States, and they would quickly change. They'll talk to Americanized women from their country that live here who would give them advice and tips and tell them to make up a story about abuse. And then you will be able to get a divorce, you'll have to pay you alimony, and you get to get citizenship and stay in the country. Except you won't have to have an American husband to do so. Donald Trump just removed that. The biggest fear for men marrying these foreign women is that we're being played and we're being scammed. They make the best wives. Even Donald Trump's wives are foreigners. Everyone knows women from other countries make better wives than American women. American women are cooked. You can't marry American women. They're unmarriageable. You shouldn't even have kids with them. They don't make good mothers. They produce a very bad result, and they're not good wives. As far as if you're a traditional men haven't changed. Men, we have the same desires and needs that we had 10,000 years ago. However, the internet has changed the women. Therefore, we are, I wouldn't say victims of it, but it's like life is happening all around us and we have no say so. So the best thing for you to do is find a woman from a conservative country, marry her, and you can bring her here and you can have a wife and a family in your home country where you can work. You don't have to fly away. Personally, I don't mind living in another country. I speak 4 languages. I can live anywhere for the most part. But I'd like the option. I shouldn't have to flee my own homeland just to have a family with children and not have to worry about the woman basically being incentivized to destroy my family and break us apart. So let's listen to this video that's going to explain exactly what new law Trump passed, the new order he wrote, and how it pertains to us.
Just everything. And I'm about to break this down in this video right now. Let me just show you why passport bros just got overpowered and how anyone who can get a passport can benefit from this movement. Guys, most men don't understand what just happened. It was...
Hold on 1 second. Let me make sure this mic's been. Here. States. And you also see that really just helped increase the birth rate. Okay, yes, we're good. Let's get back to the video.
A huge policy update by Donald Trump, and it wasn't just about immigration. It was about leverage. Because for the first time in decades, the girl you bring back to the United States can't just flip the switch, get westernized, and walk off with half of your life. As of August 1st, 2025, she either plays her role or her ass gonna get deported. No one is talking about this yet. So let me just break down exactly what just dropped and why I call it the Extradite Filter. On August 1st, 2025, the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services dropped a quiet bomb. A new policy update now makes one thing clear. Marrying a U.S. citizen no longer guarantees permanent residency.
Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for being with me today.
It no longer equals automatic citizenship and guaranteed residency. That's amazing.
Yo, see your life? Let's watch. Because under this new rule, act brand new, pick up tick, and they can deport her, denies, file for divorce, collective benefit, assist. That's right, guys. Women were coming over here, exploiting us and bailing. They act submissive overseas, secure the ring, fly back to America, and flip the script. Once they got here, it wasn't long before they became westernized, filed for divorce, collected benefits, and there was nothing you can do about it. Why do you think passport bros who've been in the game before the movement even started would always tell newbies to never bring their women to America? Now, that game is over.
Now, you got to think about it. He's telling the truth. Actually, there's a man I work with back in Texas, and I didn't take him for a passport bro, but you know, he's an older brother, beautiful. I mean, beautiful wife. She's from the Dominican Republic, and you know, him and I, we work together. He's an appraiser actually, and me being an investor, he's a good person to know. But we were having a personal conversation over lunch one day, and he's telling me that he loves his wife. She travels with him everywhere. They do everything together. But he says, you know, and he met her in a city called Cali in Colombia. And she's like a brown skin, like Spanish chick, beautiful. But he said to me, he said, you know, I made a mistake. He said, I shouldn't have brought her over here. If I could go back and do it again, I would have married her and just built a life with her in Colombia. And I would have just came back here for work and just, you know, went back and forth and be there most of the time and in the US part-time. And I was like, I don't want to get too personal or pry too much, but I'm like, well, why would you want, if you love her and she's such a great woman? But even he knows that once he brought her over here and married her and gave her residency in this country and citizenship that was approved, now he's basically in the same exact boat he would have been in if he would have just married some chick from the ghetto who's looking for a come up. That means he now has to walk on eggshells because one false move, she'll divorce him. He has to pay her alimony, and he's back alone, and he has to go back to another country to meet a new wife and start all over again because he doesn't have a choice. The American women are cooked. You can't build a family with an American woman. They don't believe in family. They believe in men giving them money for sex, and they see children as a tool. It's basically a walking bank, and basically the child is used to extract resources from men, and they'll tell several men that the child belongs to them, and rarely do they even get prosecuted for doing so. he knows that he's now in the same position as he might as well just married a chick from the US until now. See, now starting August 1st, if the women get over here and you marry them and they change up, they start wanting to go out, dress different, talk to you different, and then they want to move out, they don't want to be with you anymore, and you guys break up, even if you're married, and even if they were approved for citizenship, you can report them to ICE and they will fucking be deported. Men have leverage again. See, the problem with the United States is that women are incentivized to break up families. This move means that there's no more incentive if you have a foreign wife for her to leverage the system against you or to want to break up your family and get a divorce, thinking that she's going to get paid and she's going to get to stay in this country. Oh no. If we start having a rocky relationship, you are going to be in a rocky plane going through turbulence, landing back in your home nation. Once this is over with us, your time is over in the United States. Unless you're actually genuinely in love with me and want to be a good wife, then like the famous artist said, don't get too comfortable. Don't do it.
The new rules demand evidence, interviews, proof, and they can deport her even after approval if they find anything off. If your relationship don't appear to be genuine and she over here changing up on you, causing stress in your life, you think that doesn't put pressure on her behavior? Think again, my friend. Every attitude, every act of disrespect, every time she thinks about becoming independent and divorcing you now sounds like the dumbest decision she could ever make in her life.
I'm so happy my president married foreign women and he figured out exactly what the loopholes were so we could close them. You know, Trump walked so we could run. He knows exactly what his ex-wives threatened to do to him, etc. And he's making it possible so it won't happen to us. Like I said, the only thing is you're going to have to marry a woman from another country. But you don't want to marry American women anyway, because you're screwed if you do. So this is amazing.
She used to be protected. She used to wild out, act brand new, pick up TikTok talking points, cheating on you, threaten a divorce. And if you say anything, your life got destroyed. Now, that visa is your accountability tool. She's not a citizen. She's on a contract. And every step she takes, every move she makes, she knows someone's watching. Because under this new rule, it doesn't matter if the marriage is approved. If fraud is found after the fact, even emotional manipulation or hidden intentions, she could still be deported.
What this does is that it proves that the system is aware that women are not always the victim. It's probably 50-50. A lot of these cases in these marriages where women are claiming abuse, they're lying. But they know that the system is sympathetic to women. This gives men equality and leverage. This actually brings men and women neck and neck. Because now, if the man feels like he's being defrauded, he's being finessed, he's being taken advantage of, and he can prove it, well, now he has a leg to stand on. Before, if the man felt like that, the system wouldn't give a shit. The system doesn't care about men. The system doesn't care about men's tears or men's complaints. So it was uneven. Now balance is being restored to the force. This is a good thing. This is a great thing.
That means U.S. soil is not a free pass anymore. It's probation. And that's how it should be, because men are tired of being ruined by these unruly women. She gets sent back, no alimony, no child support, no assets.
And that is how it should be. That's how the hell it should have been this entire time. No, you should not be rewarded for destroying my family. No, you should not be rewarded for leaving. You should be incentivized to figure it the fuck out. Like, for example, I do live in another country. I'm on the beach in my other country, and literally every single family you see on the beach, there was a father there. I haven't seen a father with women and children in God knows how long here in America unless you go to areas where there's a lot of white Americans. White Americans are still conservative. The men and the women are usually together, at least for the early parts of the children's lives. But unfortunately, other communities in the United States, wink, wink, there was never a father there to begin with. There wasn't a father there even for conception because they don't know sometimes who they even conceived with. That's American culture. That's why there's such a huge push from women to stop mandatory paternity tests at birth. But even that's going to fail. If Trump could do this, then Trump is going to make paternity tests mandatory because paternity fraud is huge in this country. Huge. So because of that, again, men cannot no longer be taken advantage of. And I'm just glad we have a president and a vice president that's in the administration, that's in office, that understands the plight of men and are now trying to stick up for men. You know, this has been a really rough road for men. It doesn't pan out for us. And again, they'll use us for citizenship and to boost themselves up, and we get to pay for their lifestyle while we're not benefiting at all. No, marriage is a job. It's a career. And if you do a bad job at your job, you get fucking fired. You don't get to just basically get a severance package and then we fire you and we still pay you. No. Once you're fired, you lose all your benefits. Everything. The benefits of being here in this country. If you're not doing a good job as a wife in the marriage, then you do lose all your benefits. You don't get to live here anymore. You don't get money from it. You don't get help. And you lose your medical. You lose everything. You go back to where you're from. And guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to fly back to where you're from and I'm going to meet someone else. even if it's your cousin, just to spite you. You should, you know, if you're going to be married, if you're going to be serious about it, do it for the right reasons. Don't do it because you're trying to scam me or you think that I'm going to be your meal ticket out of your situation. You're doing it for the wrong reasons. You're doing it for the money, and money isn't everything. And that's another reason why you don't want to marry American women. To them, money is everything. But if you're having this issue with foreign women, some of them might be Americanized via the internet or television and have some of those same values. So you just got to be a little bit, you probably just got to go deeper out into the country to meet somebody who's a normal, conservative, traditional woman. Men are still traditional. Men are expected to still perform traditional gender roles. It's the women that have changed. So you got to keep that in mind. Like I said, I have a lot of friends that have been going through breakups the last couple of years, and every day when they wake up, they consider suicide because the pain they went through in these relationships, and these women don't give a damn. They don't have a heart. They don't have a soul. These are American women. So, you know, they're not understanding what men are going through. What I'm doing is I'm trying to make men understand they have more options than just the ones that were laid out in front of them. You can do better, and you will do better. Donald Trump just made it possible for you to do better. You can't really lose with this much leverage and with this much privilege. This is a privilege now. You no longer have to be scammed. To be, you know, no one's going to pretend that, oh yeah, I love you so much, let's get married, and then divorce you 17 months later. Like, what's this football player's name? And he had to give her $500,000 and $550,000, $20,000. No. Now, had he married a foreign woman and he had a child on her from another person, and she's like, I want to leave you, you think he giving her $500,000? He could have found him a woman that looks just, because his wife looks like she's foreign. She looks like she's mixed or something. He could have found a woman that looks just like her. Because all she is her looks. Her body, her face. That's all she is. There's nothing else to her besides, but and when she's a little bit too clever, well, look how she's rinsing this dude in a divorce. Do you really want a woman that's that clever, who's literally sitting around with her mom and her friends and a lawyer, and they're plotting on exactly what they're going to do to extract as many resources that they can from you before you get injured and lose your job in the NFL? Is that what you really want? Or would you rather you a simple, traditional woman that just looks exactly like that clever woman who's going to stay in her place and know her role? And guess what? If she wants to divorce you, you don't got to give her $500,000. You give her a plane ticket to get the fuck out of your face. And that's how it should be. People, these women are playing for keeps here. You'll waste a lot of your time and a lot of your sanity chasing bad women. Just because they look good doesn't mean they are good. Just because they claim to have a good heart and be so, gentle and sweet, they're lying. It's game. You got to find a woman that's going to appreciate you. These women don't appreciate you. And that's why this whole passport bro movement exists. But Trump's giving you the playbook. If you want a successful marriage where you're not going to be leveraged against, just make sure your wife's a foreigner. All these beautiful American women you think you like in America, go to another country. You can find a woman that looks just like her that's not going to be able to sue you for half of, even if you don't have any money, for half of your nothing. I don't want a bitch asking me for my one of my Xbox controllers. You can go split the Xbox up. You want the blue one or the green controller? Which one do you want? I don't want to give her neither one of my controllers. Even if that's all I got to my name is Xbox, I want it. I don't want the emotional trauma of also having to go through the divorce in the first place. And these women in America love to divorce the hell out of a man. Okay, they love to say, oh, I'm a divorced single mother, because everything over here is about sympathy. That's how they leverage taxpayers in society. Now we're preventing these new women from doing it. That's why we have to replace these women with foreign women. But your foreign woman, not just random foreign women. It's a difference.
Just the clothes she got on her damn back. And that changes everything. Fellas, y'all gotta appreciate this law, because a lot of the women overseas started changing. TikTok, Instagram, passport privilege. They were scamming men into bringing them into the US and then finessing them later. Now, some of y'all don't even know what it looks like to deal with a woman with a westernized mentality. You probably haven't run into a lot of women these days who have been feminized. So let me give you a glimpse of how they act over here.
I know this is going to sound real crazy. I know this is going to go over a lot of people's heads, but I feel like men who don't want to date women with children have issues with their own mother. Why? Because I don't understand a man who doesn't want to date women with children when you come from a mother, when you come from a woman. And I'm pretty sure your mom has children, which means you have siblings.
This woman is mentally retarded. None of what she says makes any sense. I think you have mommy issues just because you don't want to deal with me and another man's kids. That used to work because men used to really care about what women think. Now that this is 2025 and we understand that most women are mentally handicapped because of social media and just media in general, indoctrination, you really can't listen to them about anything, because if they knew better, they would do better. But they really don't know better, which is why they have to try to manipulate and beg you for your resources. If you're so smart and you're so clever and you understand men so well, then why are you out here making a video? Why do you need to talk to me? Why do you care what I'm doing? You should be doing fine by yourself. You shouldn't even need to date me. Let's be real. She's complaining about nobody wanting to date her because nobody wants to give her money. For one thing, you're way too, you look short, you look big. There's really, and then again, the fake hair, the Klingon forehead. No, what man do you think is coming along that'll want to do something with you when there's women half your age from different races that look 1,000 times better? If you don't get the fuck out of here,
So how do you
leave me and my mommy issues. And do they think that? But that just shows you they have no actual argument. So when they don't have a way to rebuttal or an intellectual response, they just attack you on a personal level. They'll attack your appearance. They don't even know what your penis looks like. They'll talk about your penis size. They'll suggest that you're probably closeted gay or you have some kind of issues with a parent. They're just looking for anything they can say to you to trigger you. And just like in elementary school, once somebody finds out what your trigger is, they know they got you. They got you because they know how to control you. Remember back in school, you all used to, sit around the table making fun of everybody, and you make one joke about somebody's mom, and he starts crying and he wants to fight. And from that day on, you want to get under his skin. If he ever says something, does anything you don't like, just bring up how big his mom is. How she used to have a microwave for a beeper. And then he's going to just crash the fuck out. You can tell him, hey, the teacher just said, your mom jumped up in the sky and got stuck. and he'll run over there and punch the teacher. That's how dumb this idiot kid is. Don't be that idiot kid. Don't let one of these poor, desperate, cum dumpster women with children by multiple men who didn't want to be with them neither. Are you telling your baby dads that they got mommy issues too? Is that why he no longer wants to see his kid? Because you said you insulted the man, and he was like, you know what? Instead of me going to prison for punching you in your fucking face, how about fuck you and that kid? C'est la vie. And what are you gonna do? You can't get blood from a turnip. He might not even have a job. So guess what you're gonna get in child support from the government? About $200, maybe $280, and I think it's gonna be less than that because they're changing the rules on on EBT and welfare. So that's gonna be changing soon too. These women are getting desperate. They'll say anything to not have to work. They need you to be a blind mule that's going to go out and bust your back and give them money. Don't do it. You're better than that. I promise you are.
Feel about your mother. It doesn't make any sense to me. Some will say, well, that's his choice. He can feel how you want to feel. He doesn't have to date a woman with children because he comes from a woman. This is true, but I feel like you're projecting trauma onto other people because you haven't healed from whatever happened to you, or however you might feel about your own family or about your own mom. Men who don't want to date women with children either don't like their mother or they have mom issues.
Either way, fuck you and your kids. I'm not dating you. How about that? How about that? You can say what you want to say. You can call yourself shaming or, well, he got my, well, then why you want me to date you then if I got mommy issues? Because you're desperate. The clock is ticking. Not only are you getting older by the minute, but you're gaining weight by the second. So you're not getting any better. And you wonder why nobody wants to come over there and do anything besides smack you up after the club and then leave. Take your kid little snacks, take their bucket of Tampico and leave your house and give you nothing else. Nobody wants to be with you and another man's kid. You should have worked it out with your child's father. But see, hopefully the government's going to de-incentivize breaking up families in America by American women. God willing, if there's an order that Trump could sign that basically remove all the incentives from these women of breaking up these American families. Why do you think the country's so weak? Why do you think we have so much crime? Why do you think there's so much depression and so much stress? And these women are on all these drugs. They were manipulated by the system, but they didn't have to follow the manipulation, but they just did because they're women. They're not smart. They weren't bred to be smart. Going to school doesn't make you smart. It just means you have a lot of fucking debt. These women are not in these schools on academic scholarships. These women are running up hundreds of thousands in debt, claiming to be smart, but getting finessed by a dude that's been to prison 8 fucking times. Like, get the fuck out of here. You're not that fucking bright. You're not. You're not. So let's just be real. Like, we need to remove the incentives from these women of breaking up American families too. Yeah, I love Trump for what he just did. He single-handedly saved marriage and saved men. But let's go further. Because there's going to be men who don't understand that you have to leave the country. They don't have a passport. And they're going to make these mistakes. Should those men be punished and destroyed because they made a bad decision when it came to one? Because in their heart, they're doing what they were bred and born to do, which is be a husband, be a father. But you can't find a good mate. You end up with some person with all these fucking issues who basically divorced you after 2 years. Your kid's 1 year old, and now they're trying to figure out how to destroy you and drive you crazy for the next 18 years. That has to be, men need to be protected from this. We have to be. Or you're not going to have a military army, you're not going to have a strong workforce, and you're going to have to continue bringing in illegals just to get enough people in this country to keep the lights on. You're going to need manpower. So Trump is figuring out a way to reverse the decline in marriage and birth, and he has. But we're going to need to take it a step further. He deserves more credit. This whole automatic citizenship thing, just because we get married, that shit is over. Se acabó. It's done.
Go get healed. Stop projecting your trauma.
Lady, you go heal, and you're projecting your trauma onto men because nobody wants to be with you. Now it's the men's fault. No, you're traumatized because you keep getting dissed. You keep getting ditched by men. Don't project that onto us. Get the fuck out of here.
Other people and do the right thing. Let me know what you guys think about that. Do you feel like men who don't want to date women with children are right in how they feel, or do you feel like it's their choice? Let's talk about it.
See, guys, these women want us to date and marry women who've been slutted out, bust down, and impregnated by other men. And if we are wise enough to decline to do it, they say we are broken and need therapy because they are being taught that a woman with kids from another man is just as good as an option as a woman without kids. And if we don't date single moms, we must hate our own mothers who might be a single mother, as if our options in the dating market has to mirror who our mother was back when she was dating women.
I'll be honest with you. My mother was married when I was born to my father. You know, my mom's not perfect by a long shot, but at least she did that right. At least, that's the one thing. Guaranteed she did right. At least she was married when she decided to have children. Now, for her other kids after me, was she married to their fathers? No. But she started off on the right foot with me. And the thing is, she was over here in the U.S. She was Americanized. Being a prostitute, being a woman of the night, being a woman of low moral value. That's an American thing. That's why we have to go abroad. You want to do better. Even if your mom wasn't married to your dad, why would you want a woman that was like your mother? Yeah, you liked your mother, but you see why your dad left her. You don't want that. You love your mother, but do you want to fuck your mother? No. You wouldn't even want to fuck with a woman who was like your mother. You know your mother's issues. You were there growing up with her. You see her now, and you would not. You understand your dad after a while. You're like, I get it. Yeah, she's a nutcase. This has been a problem for a long time. Think about it. American women claim abuse also, and that's how they get sympathy. Imagine these foreign women going to a police station, basically brand new citizenship, and trying to pretend that you've been whooping ass every single day. You was doing Muay Thai, you was doing, judo and beating her ass with, Muay Thai up in Thailand or the Philippines, and then you brought her over here, he's just whooping ass. They say that because it used to mean, well, now because of sympathy, while there's a pending case, we're going to give you automatic stay on your citizenship so you can't be deported as punishment, and yada, yada, yada. That's all over. It's over. I remember I had an ex-girlfriend, and I remember her father died. And she's never recovered because when her parents were married, her mom came to her and her two sisters, and she said, I'm going to tell the police that your father hit me so that they'll make him leave the house, and then I can keep the house. But I need you girls to lie. She was a daddy's girl. Her sisters were mama's girls. And when the police came and asked, the dad stood there and said, I've never put my hands on you. But her mom was just a bitch and wanted him out. And she joined her two sisters and said, I seen him hit her. And she was a daddy's girl, and she loved her dad. Her dad loved her. But they forced her dad to leave the house. And he never really recovered after that. And she always felt guilt about lying on her father. Her own father that loved her and raised her, signed her birth certificate, and was there since she was born. And he all of a sudden he passed, and she has nightmares about what she did. At least she has a conscience. A lot of women don't have a conscience about anything. They don't give a shit what they do to men. They see men as the enemy. They see men as just a way to get money for themselves. They don't want anything to do with you. They just want your resources. And, but when you claim abuse as an American woman and everybody just automatically believes you with no proof, I mean, you know, why wouldn't somebody just lie? People lie for money every single day. That's the name of the game. That's how this country works. So an illegal person comes over here, a woman that comes over here from another country, and she gets that idea, she finds out how this works, then she's going to do the same thing too. Why wouldn't she? Think about it. You get all the benefits of a husband, but none of the responsibilities of having a husband. So a lot of these women don't really want a husband, don't want to be married. They just want to live like a married woman without the husband, without the marriage, without the man. But all the money and the resources that come along with having a man who's employed, who's working. That can't be allowed to stand.
Overseas are not thinking like that. When they do come to the U.S., this is one of the most toxic mindsets foreign women will embrace, which enables poor vagina regulation and promotes therapy as a way to get men to make poor decisions.
Do you think a man should ever tell a female how to dress?
What I've seen here tonight? Hell yeah.
What the fuck? No way they put Theodore from the Chipmunks in this goddamn video. Who is this Darwin McPherson? Man, they follow him. Shout out to Darwin McPherson. Where the fuck did you find this? And these puppies. She has the same grill as the guy from There's Something About Mary. Remember when he went and got his teeth done because he thought they married like guys with big ass teeth? And he had the crutches and he was she has the same shit he got. And big ass lady with weird teeth and goggles. What options do you think you have? You think somebody is literally coming along that wants to get like I said, the level of delusion amongst these older aunties who are single, who never amounted to anything more than a bum ass baby mama, the shit that they say. And they're all over the internet. The internet is just them. It's just this is the internet. This is them. The whole internet, social media is just this fucking face right here. This goddamn thing right here, Chewbacca, is right here. And why the fuck is your hair blonde? This lady needs new friends. Becky, get you some new fucking friends, because these goddamn, I don't even know what I don't even know what that is. Well, what is that?
Would you wear that shit to church?
So she doesn't go to church. And at that size, there's only so much clothing you can wear besides sweats anyway. You can't fit into anything else. So of course she's going to be wearing baggy ass, big ass clothing. She's doomed to do so. Or is that what you're in a hurry to get married to? Don't you want to be married? I do. I'd love just because of tradition alone. I'm a man. Ever since I was a little boy, I wanted to be somebody's husband. My father was a husband. My grandfather was a husband. My great-great-grandfather was a husband before him. I don't know how far back in my family lineage do we go. There's no slavery in my family or anything. We were, some of my family owned slaves, once upon a time. That's in our family history. But there is no single mothers or unwed women having children out of wedlock in my family tree. And I don't want to be the first. So I'm abstaining from it. But now that I understand this, where I live at in this other country, I'm dating women that are so amazing and so beautiful. But if they weren't amazing and beautiful and they were just running game on me, how the fuck would I know until it was too late? Well, now we can find out. And if there is some bullshit going on behind my back, you can get the fuck out. There is not going to be, you get to just stay here in the U.S. We got a brand new citizen. Fuck that. No. And if I got to go back to the drawing board, at least I don't have to be worrying about paying out alimony and child support. That's because that was the best reason to go get married in another country. They don't have alimony and child support. The woman is like, we're going to figure this out because you're not going to just leave me stuck by myself. And that's how it should be. The government should not be trying to take the place of a man. So the government has to pay for you, and the government doesn't even get to fuck you. So what benefit of that does the government have besides just a bunch of bastard children, unless the government really is trying to increase the school to prison pipeline? And if you're going to need warm bodies to fill up jails, then yeah, you do want to reward single motherhood. But in this administration, that is not the goal. So we are going to counter those efforts. So this is a great day. Trump has saved marriage. Trump is saving the birth rate. Thank you, Donald J. Trump. We appreciate you. America first. Make America great again. Not just America first, but America only. Club Rico podcast, Right Wing Rico, The Single Boyfriend. Shout out to our sponsor, cosigning.com. Thank you for the ad reads. I'll be back with another segment in about 20 minutes. I'm going to go re-up on some more tea. And I got to take the live studio audience back here. I got to take him for a walk because we do have an audience. And he's asleep right now, but I have to wake him up and take him for a walk because he's a big dude. Thank you. Like and subscribe. Share the video. And I'll see you guys again on TikTok and on our other platforms. Cheers.
I've been needing to find a new apartment, which has not been easy with credit as bad as mine. Luckily, I found cosigning.com. They connected me with a cosigner who helped me get my dream apartment for me and my dog. I just paid a small fee and was able to move in fast. Get the cosigner you need for the apartment you want. Check out cosigning.com today.